All right, welcome to Rapid Fire Manufacturing. Today I'm joined by Tim Drinkwater. He is the owner of Accurate Machine Products and U.S. Mount Parts. With over 17 years in precision manufacturing, Tim has a wealth of experience and knowledge and insight, and he has what it takes to succeed in the industry. So, Tim, thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
And so I saw at IMTS you won the DN Solutions SVM 4100? Is that right?
Yeah, that was the machine. It was a giveaway that Kennametal was running. They've also very generously, they're supplying some tooling as well that we're working together on that list of. And Kennametal's been great. They've been up here a couple of times into the shop and helping us sort out some tooling things. And just yesterday, they've finished the machine install. So I'm actually taking time away from playing with that to be here with you, David, but I'm happy to be here.
I appreciate that. How excited were you when you got that announcement, when they called your name?
It's really one of those unreal feelings. So they messaged me. They were trying to call me, message me. I was, getting lunch and eventually saw a LinkedIn message from Ashley. Yeah, at first I was like, is this a scam, right? So it took a few minutes to sink in, and then they asked if I could be there, what ended up being like in 8 minutes, so that they could do that live recording and stream that the MTD team put together. So I had to hustle from one building to the other. You know what it's like down there. So
yeah, I think I heard Eddie doing the WrestleMania type announcement for it, right?
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you ready to jump into the first question here?
Sure, let's do it.
So, with over 17 years at Accurate Machine Products, how have you seen precision manufacturing and the industry evolve, and what are some strategies that you've implemented to stay competitive?
So I would say the biggest thing about the evolution that I've seen in my course, so I've had my business for 17 years, but I've been in machining since the late 90s, is the velocity of the evolution. The evolution is great and things are changing and getting better, but they're changing at such a rapid pace that staying current gets harder and harder. And, so one of the things I try to do is stay in touch with all those things, whether it be at trade shows or online in different formats. I mean, you've got Instagram, LinkedIn, a Practical Machinist, a lot of different avenues you can do there, but you need to take in that information and digest it, because you can't just wait, and like every 2 years go to IMTS and see what's new. It's changing so quickly that you can't wait that long. Kind of using some of those strategies, which when I did, it wasn't really a strategy. It was just what I was doing because I was passionate about it. We were early adopters in several software platforms that have been really advantageous to us. First being Fusion 360. We've been using that for it's over a decade now. And so we were early adopters in that. And fortunately, the evolution of that software platform has continued, and we've been able to grow along with it. So that's been fabulous. Another software platform that we've taken advantage of is the ERP system we use, which is called Odoo. It's kind of a newer system that's out there, but again, it's been around it's probably close to 20 years now under different names and things as it's evolved. But we're now leveraging that for our operational needs, beyond just CAM programming, but to organize our inventory, our workflow, our purchasing. We're hoping to actually involve it into our tooling ordering. So that's kind of another step. But so that was a couple of things we were early adopters in as far as the innovation. The other thing we've done is, at our shop, we haven't had a lot of new equipment around. It just hasn't played out that way for us. But what we have done is invest in the tooling. What we found is we can stretch the usability of a machine tool a bit further by investing in that tooling. And so it can get pretty pricey, but I am very proud of my collection of ER collets. My guys never have to dig around for a 1/4-inch ER collet. We've got plenty. And if one gets wrung or spun out, it gets pitched and we replace it. So that's not necessarily innovation. I mean, maybe it's an innovative idea, but one of the shops I learned early on, and the first thing you do to set up a machine was tear down half a dozen holders to figure out how you could piece together the collets you needed. for the setup. And that was just something I didn't want in my shop. Yeah, some nuggets in there, maybe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And brings up something Mike Payne talked about too. He said, I might not necessarily invest right away into some of these technologies, but staying informed is really important. So like you said, don't wait 2 years to learn about the next new thing. Try to stay up to date on stuff. And then when you get to IMTS, you can actually see those things, in action.
Absolutely.
And the next thing, so as a seasoned business owner, and the founder of US Mount Parts, which that's a B2B business, what's one piece of advice you'd give to other manufacturers looking to grow in some of the challenging environments of B2B?
So it depends what strategy you're taking on that. If you're an existing business, like a machine shop, and all the machine shops covet the idea of having a product line, right? You'll hear that over and over again if you're talking to a job shop owners. Well, if we just had a product line. Well, we're having an opportunity to launch our product line. It's not where I want it to be yet, but it's kind of an evolution, and you got to stay on it. It's really easy for it to keep falling back onto the back burner. And admittedly, that's happened here several times as well, but you got to keep bringing it back to the front. We're actually running some parts for inventory for that business line right now that I currently don't have any buyers for. But we've been able to do the product development again using Fusion and our bill of materials and Odoo to kind of flesh that all out. But if you're an existing business trying to launch a secondary business, I think one of the keys to that is sitting down early and trying to understand what all it's going to take to do that, because it's probably more than you think. It'd be my first stake on that. And I would say that's a learning experience for myself, because we're starting to kind of wrap our hands around how much more it's going to take than we expected. And actually a fair amount of that from our standpoint is it's a completely different marketing environment, because yes, it's a product line that we're going to manufacture and machine, but there's a different audience you're trying to get to now that I don't necessarily have the feel for, right? So that's been a big thing for us.
Yeah, I could see the challenges trying to navigate in new markets, right? And new marketing altogether.
Yep. It's a whole different thing. And, the particular product line we're trying to develop goes into a kind of a whole different industry. It's not industrial. It's not manufacturing. And it takes a different, maybe not a different set of skills, but a different set of connections and contacts and different mindset. You can't walk in and advertise to someone that might want some of the US Mount Parts products and say, hey, we're a great machine shop. That doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah.
So what you need to do then is be able to provide them solution examples. So we've actually built some prototypes of products that we're going to, but they weren't at the request of any customer. And I'm not sure that any customer is really going to want them but we had to go through the exercise of going through the R&D process, the prototype process, and then in this case, it's going to be a rather small install, but an initial installation of some of that product. And again, that's going to be, it's going to be kind of, I don't know, called a white paper or a case study on how something like that could be done to kind of demonstrate for potential customers. So, and then that's kind of new. That's not something you have to do as a machine shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, that's awesome. Sounds like you're laying down the foundation right now, and I have no doubt you're going to find success in that. So best of luck.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And it looks like we're out of time here. Thanks again for joining Rapid Fire Manufacturing. Always a pleasure to talk to experts like Tim. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please stay tuned for more insights from industry leaders. Thanks so much, Tim.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.